But yeah, we're going to be casting Mr. Memer himself, JMJWilson versus Movius. So we'll be casting that one first. Hopefully, I wanted to get to see some of Wilson. He's been a consistent piler here.
Very good.
Bring it to the Quilland Cup. So I want to see his decks before he. I'm not gonna say he's gonna get. I'm not gonna.
You don't believe in the memers? You should.
I do.
Everyone wrong.
I do. I just get. You get your hopes up and then.
I know, but it's good. We want to catch these games just in case something might happen. Mm-hmm. It's always fun, I think, casting these kind of spicy lists, because as a caster, there's a lot of surprise value to you as well. Whereas the meta decks, a lot of the time, want to operate a certain way. Of course, there are different specific lines that a player can take that really changes things. But other than that, it's a lot of fun. So let's see, Wilson's list. Should we take a look at them?
Yeah, I believe I have.
Are we starting with Movius's?
Starting with Movius, it's the first one I have saved down
Sounds
here.
good.
Did I not save that one? I thought I got sent it. Max is doing some wonderful graphics for us this time around. Yeah. I know we've for the qualifiers we traditionally just do the. Oh wait, his was the first one and I didn't save it. Papega.
Oh yeah, these graphics are just amazing. Looking at them, they fit so well with the Quilland Cup PAM's artwork and everything. So we're getting really spoiled here, getting to see these decks and not having to venture out to the actual brackets.
Yeah, well, we have no Google Translate for today, but again, that'll be a little bit more of the qualifier special, right? Where we're just gonna have a little bit more of that classic meme feel, I guess. So
I definitely think these graphics make up for that more than enough. Production value, like Taco said.
Yeah, so let's see those decks, like it says. So I don't know if you want to start off.
Who's that Pokemon? Let's look at shall we start with the guerrilla tactics that we see here from Wilson? I guess we're looking at now, not Mobius's one. So let's have a look. There, I see some traps. I see some Yorvit's Gambit. Definitely a lot of interesting inclusions here. Going for the quite unitless route, as well as these Cat Witcher mentors that definitely can play out for some big points in a deck that works like Wilson's one. In general, it's quite nice being able to play a lot of traps. You play unitless. You have your guerrilla tactics to set up some nice crushing traps, maybe target for your Brehen even. Serpent Trap can get so much value, one of the better traps out there. And Pyrotex also, bronzes that work so well with the unitless archetype, I think. Definitely not much to interact with. And Eldain, being the king of this deck, really pulling those epic points when he comes down on a board with a lot of traps already set up for him.
Yeah, we've seen some kind of like these all-in traps, I guess, more towards when the leader models or leader cards were released again. Eldain being the nice trap one, and it's kind of interesting. We're seeing him foregoing the boring scenarios that you kind of just tend to slap into these trap decks and going like full no unit. Foregoing the scenario there. It'd be kind of interesting to see him. How he chooses to win these round ones, as that seems to be the biggest struggle with these trap and no unit style decks, is you do really cherish that round control and getting that final say. Let's see how the round one goes for him.
Yeah, definitely one of those things is winning round one, and in a tournament setting you can of course control the coin a little bit, which can be useful for a deck like this. All right, should we look at some lined pockets? Usually, this is a bit of staple in the meta, but judging by Wilson's deck, he's definitely going for some spice here. Nearmancy, Triss, TK, those are cards you see, Cleaver, and then we get to Igor the Hook. After that comes Walter, Veritas, Townsfolk. So we're looking at some of these, pulling some of these combos off with the Townsfolk, getting some coins, getting your Igor out. Definitely spicy, and if your opponent can control that, you don't get a lot of points, but if it does go through, it's definitely not a bad combination to be able to pull off. Tax collectors being those very important bronzes here. Just making sure you constantly gain those coins. That is something that requires a lot of setup, but again, if it works out, then that's quite nice.
Yeah. Sorry, I just little.
No worries. Lance has a lot of tabs open. He's managing the tournament as well as making sure we get to see all of these slides. So, yeah, don't worry about it, Lance. We understand.
But yeah, so Igor Townsfolk. I mean, I know we saw like a couple players kind of like memeing around with it a little bit in the, because like Tax Collector got the recent buff, right? Like it's now at 4p, so that's pretty nice buff for the list, as you do run the double Tax Collectors with that as well. So I mean, also playing for a bit of the crime and safecracker value, just with how strong Cleaver and then Justice with the safecrackers is. So the Justice safecrackers allows you to really get that round control, so you can possibly go for that Igor abuse in the longer rounds and just have a ton of Townsfolk value, as well as line pockets getting that extra point just makes Townsfolk even better too, just having that extra charge as well. So
for sure,
yeah, a lot of benefits now for the Townsfolk deck recently.
And this is, we talked about winning round one in that trap deck being important. It is also quite important in this one. So you're not scared of committing quite a lot if that actually gives you the round and being able to take your combo pieces to the long round. So that is also something Wilson wants to do. But we all know safecrackers on blue coin, or I mean, first round, any coin you're at, it's going to be really a lot of points. So if Wilson can pull those off, Movius might struggle a little bit in competing with points, even depending what we're queuing against. And Wheel of Fortune to me is a really fun card as well, kind of a RNG card, but hopefully it'll maybe remove an engine or something like that.
Yeah, if you want to just keep moving on through the lists.
Alrighty, let's go to Battle Trance. All right, Arnagod sticks out there immediately. He's a card that has gotten a buff. We have Kroch on Crate, as well as, Bane being happy about this inclusion. Lambert Swordmaster. Sucrus is here to pull off the combo. You have Sucrus, Arnagod. I mean, Kroch as well is quite nice to have. You could potentially play something like Sucrus would only work once on something like Kroch, right? But he can definitely get value by Kroch not damaging the unit that you're playing next to him, next to Sucrus. So that's a fun play. So I do like the inclusion of Kroch here for sure. Although Bane wants the Sucrus to protect the Lambert, I think it's going to find these other targets, such as Arnagod being the ideal one. Of course, Covenant of Steel is very important here. You want to protect the combo that you want to pull off. In general, I think this deck could work. I mean, Skeleton cards are quite strong, for sure. And we do see a lot of those high P cards included that can do a lot of points, as well as the bronzes. Really, Tide Cloak Hideaways already by themselves are so many points. It's also really nice being able to play those Demon Pirates. So it does have a lot of pieces that work quite nicely together. Let's see if Wilson can kind of get those combos that he desires in this deck, as well as the others so far.
Yeah, a couple nice things about, a couple recent changes, right, on Arnagod getting that extra 2 armor buff. Pretty significant buff. It makes him a lot more, consistent in the value you'd want to see from a 10 provision card. And then Sucrus as well, getting that pirate tag, kind of, a significant tag, obviously, for pirate decks. So one kind of thing because we watched Shaggy bring in the qualifier, he brought like this pirate deck. We saw a bunch of people bring like a pirate style deck in the qualifiers. And kind of one thing that someone said about it, which I kind of started to see watching it being played, is that the problem with a lot of like the pirate cards is that every one of them wants to be played first. Right. Like you look at, all these cards benefit from having pirates and ships in hand, and like, which one do you want to play first? Like some hands can be super awkward in terms of what you play out. So
I feel like another thing that is Pirates' weakness is the fact that it doesn't have a tutor. Like, these cards can be really strong on their own, but comparing to Bloody Gold, that obviously is a tutor for warriors, Pirates are really being left out, forcing you to play something like a Neuromancy. I mean, you can't like play an ace your pirate deck either. because you have to kind of have that in Neomancy if you really want to make sure you pull those combos like Arnagod and stuff. So I would say another big kind of thing making pirates a little bit weaker is the fact that they actually do not have a tutor as of now. So I'm hoping that might be added to the game. I think it's definitely would make pirates see play, because I do still feel like they're quite strong.
And if you just want to move on to the final list quick, we can start to get into...
Of course. All right, we see Overwhelming Hunger kind of making a return. This is a swarm version, but not Arrakis Queen, or Arrakis Swarm as it is known as, but rather Succubus, Were-Rat. What else did I see here? Yeah, Playmaiden, a lot of Swarm for sure. That's what Wilson is doing with this, but not playing the AQ leader, more of a Death Wish approach to it. I find this deck really interesting. Succubus as a card is fun, but you have to play it right. It's a little bit tricky in the way that it works on the board, but a lot of cards that haven't seen play really hybrid Succubus. I think it's a really fun idea. I've seen a couple of these people experimenting with like Were-Rats, for example, on ladder recently. So I think it's really fun seeing this type of a deck, and I'm really curious to see how it works out. But it does have points, like more of it already. You can win round 1 with that. You can swarm later on. Plague Maiden is quite huge as well. So you know, I think this deck should be quite strong if it does get that control.
Yep, and then I guess we can head on into Movius lists quickly, and then we should hopefully be able to get into the games. I have... Yep, right.
Let's see.
Boom. All right, they are up on the screen. If you want us to start going through the, I guess, Carapace to start out is the first one there, and then I'll get this this bracket ready to go.
All right, let's start with Carapace. We're seeing a Movius here taking the approach of trusting the good old Kelly. I mean, Kelly's an interesting deck. Sometimes it falls off the meta a little bit. Sometimes it comes back when the time is suitable. Of course, it did get some nerfs. You can't buff your Ceely dash with your leader anymore, but it's still really strong. Most of your engines are monster. I mean, every single engine is a monster card, so it's really nice being able to protect them. Kelly is really strong and works the same way. It's a little bit dependent on what you play against. So something like Swarm isn't Kelly's favorite food, but I'm sure you know this deck can get value. It's very flexible coin wise as well, and strong. Get your Cape Troll, get your Ceely. You can still pull off that combo very early on and get card advantage or turn the coin around with this list. Alrighty, I guess we're moving on to the next one. Let's take a look at Line Pockets. It is Line Pockets, just as Wilson is bringing, but this one definitely takes the more meta approach. Of course, we know Tunnel Drill recently has been nerfed, but that nerf doesn't really matter too much. One provision is quite easy to find from any other card. And the usual suspects are here. Jacques, Cleaver, Siggy, still going strong, getting a lot of coins for this deck to spend. It has Philippa, it has a Tunnel Drill that can do Tunnel Drill stuff and really remove a whole board if it wants to. You can set up that pocket for it and start pinging it around. So very strong. Obviously, we know the Halfling Safecracker combo coming down early on is really difficult to compete with. For your opponent, it can secure a win on even something like that from Red Coin. It's really nice to have for sure.
Yeah, and I got some news on the ban front right now. It looks like Movius's Double Cross was banned, and then Wilson's Hunger has been banned.
Okay, Wilson taking on the Line Pockets then. That'll be interesting.
Ooh.
And I guess we can go through Movius's Nature's Gift list real quick. Does Lance want to do that, or does he have management stuff to do?
Yeah, why don't you quickly go through the Nature's Gift, because we have the invites, and then we'll hopefully get moving.
All right, let's get moving. Anyway, Nature's Gift, pretty standard. It's a devotion list, but it's very point heavy as well. Again, it definitely has a lot of points in round 1 that your opponent has to compete with. I like the inclusion of Frigsnet here. It's a pretty nice card to run in a devotion list. Some nature specials to buff up that gourd that you want to aim for kind of a short round. Maybe even Smork. We see that a lot from Nature's Gift. It likes pushing that round with the Hamadryads and the specials, and can definitely be something to be a little bit worried about. Obviously, struggling sometimes to find every card it needs, but when it draws well, it also puts nice points on them.
Yeah, and I guess we can start looking to get into the match then. And
Hey!
you know, I got an invite here. Let's see if you.
I got an invite too. I got an invite.
Right. Yep, and
Let's see.
okay, well now it's not recording my Gwent. Oh, yay. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, never mind. We're fine, chat. It's fine. See, we got an invite.
We saved it. Let's see. Lance making it through here would be amazing. Otherwise, I'll just go back to riding the tractor like I usually do on these streams. It's a lot of fun, so don't worry about me. As long as we can get this match to work.
That was a quick load. Oh, I think I might actually be in because I heard the sound right away. That's one thing I've noticed, that if you hear like the sounds of the game right away, yep, I'm in. Boom.
I'm in too. I can't believe it. This is the first time in forever. I feel so good.
Oh,
We're actually
boy.
in the game. I need to turn my Gwent volume down, it seems like.
The smile on my face right now is just like
Great. Imagine being so excited about this.
like I'm almost tearing up. Actually, it's quite sad that I get so happy at this.
Oh, I think it's very nice. Alrighty then, let's see what our opponents are queuing. Movius, you know, speaking of the devil, we have the devotion list going first, Nature's Gift, and Wilson bringing the unitless on red, hoping to really do some damage with that, but also having to win the round, which might be a little bit difficult, I think, against Gift, unless you are able to control enough stuff here.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about Gift is it's had such a strong round 1, and right, it's very hard for a lot of other decks to really take the round from them. So it either allows them, you know, in some scenarios, some decks, that just take that long round, get that nice engine value of all these symbiosis engines, as well as this Gezris, but also can do some pretty scary bleeds as well into a lot of decks. So that's definitely like positives to this Gift list. Again, you know, you just don't feel anxious when you hit that blue coin like some decks do.
Something that is not really exciting is the state of Movius's hand. It is a little bit weak and very bronze heavy, and the golds that are there, something like Gesra's, maybe you don't really want to play it too early. And yeah, Wilson just really valuing this Hamadryad engine here and going right for the Pitfall Trap that exactly removes it when you flip it over.
Yeah, the trap's getting all these spring abilities, just gets more consistent value out of them. You know, you can use that Pitfall Trap for a nice 6 removal, or you can just, you know, someone plays that scenario or some high provision card and you get a lot of value out of it too. And kind of the same thing with this Serpent Trap as well, getting a nice spring ability, you know, being a predatory dive at worst.
Exactly. It definitely adds a little bit of flexibility. I think Wilson in general has a pretty good hand state here. He has a lot of points in something like Justice. We can also see he's immediately stacking up the front row because he's looking to play that gate 10 potentially for some points. Obviously, Movius can defend a lot of these removal value that Wilson would have with playing 2 of these Pyrotechs, something that isn't typically anything that you really want to damage.
Yeah, one sec.
Ooh. Here we see Circle coming down, buffing that Gestras, making him a big boy, a little bit more difficult to remove, which is quite nice. Alrighty, let's see. Wilson is deciding. What is he deciding on? We're playing quite fast-paced Gwent here, which is, you know, it's always quite fun, but then the players have to be really careful that no mistakes happen.
Yeah, it looks like, what is this, Maxi coming down onto the board
I
from
think it's
Wilson?
Maxi, yeah.
So looking
Wilson
at what
really...
he's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So he finds nearly everything. I guess just missing out on this serpent trap. Oh, well, you don't really miss out on the serpent trap either. You could possibly play it from Yorva's Gambit, although a bit random, right? With
Of
all
course,
of
yeah.
those remaining.
So definitely making the choice there whether he wants to keep it or not. But I believe he did keep it. So it's probably a good call. You know, getting most of those cards is probably going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, so he doesn't run the Anero, so again, can't get access to it. And the sad thing is that Serpent Trap is actually quite nice against Gift. I mean, they play a lot of specials. They also go really tall, so it would probably get pretty good value. Obviously not in the spring because of the treants, but pretty good value in the ambush effect.
And right now we can see the adrenaline is shining on this Cat Witcher mentor over there. A new feature that we recently got in Gwent. It is quite, I mean, it's really hard to miss right now. So kind of signaling that Cat Witcher could be something to play for Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, so this is my first time actually seeing it. I don't know how I feel about it.
I'm gonna say it is something that it's fine being in the hand, but once a card goes on the board, I could see it disappearing. It's definitely kind of shouting, in my opinion.
Oh, just so it stays on the board?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see your opponent's adrenalines as well, so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is actually my first time turning on Gwent so far this season, so I get to experience all the new adrenaline feature right away.
It gets easier.
Exactly, there we go. And that Wilson can't miss it. He's going to play his Cat Witcher mentor as well, starting to get some points on this engine as long as it stays alive. Obviously, Movius has committed quite a bit by pulling out that Elias because he really realizes, oh, he needs to kind of take this round, setting up some cards, potentially even playing this Gestras later to secure winning the round. Lance talked about how important it is for Wilson to really win round one in with the trap deck that he's playing, and Movius probably wouldn't mind going as far as doing that if that would secure him the round. But obviously trying to hold on to that Gestras for later on.
Yeah, and we see Wilson committing the Quen into this other Cat Witcher here. Yeah, and just like I thought. So whenever Sabretooth switches, so it becomes like a 1 point per turn engine, which is quite nice with Sabretooth actually. So.
And of course, that Gaetan is in Wilson's hand. The Gaetan's going to come down, and that's going to make up for a lot of points with that movement. So definitely a point gap that Wilson is able to catch here. So now Movius kind of has to play probably a couple of these bronzes, see if the Gestras is something that will be necessary to commit later.
Yeah, yeah, just trying to hold on to this Gestras as long as possible, and has a nice hand buff on it currently, so definitely a bit expensive to spend out here, but point gap still not too big, however. No. So Wilson able just to continue to play.
Wilson can play most of his hand here. I wouldn't say there is any card that he would want to keep for later. So he just probably goes for it here. I mean, there's Justice for quite a few points. And now Movius really has to make the choice. The Gestras comes down here because that Nature's Gifts could also spawn a token on the range throw. Gestras not being able to get any value then, which is something you want to avoid. So you'd rather just go ahead and play it even though it is committal.
Yeah, and potentially if the treant spawns on this this back row later, it's gonna be quite awkward for this Gestras here. Also getting hit by the Tiger too.
And here we go. We see Justice coming down there from Wilson. Also, again, quite a few points, and we are catching up. Movius's Gestras isn't going to do too many points here on the melee row that he will damage, which is nice for Wilson.
Yeah, I mean,
of course, The Hattori is a little bit interesting. It doesn't look like that's something that Wilson wants to play anymore, I believe. It can spawn we don't really know what it'll spawn. It's a little bit random. I believe it should always get a gold one, but yeah. He could flip a crushing trap, but I don't believe that would be enough here.
Yeah, so Movius just takes the pass, losing on even. Wilson able to keep his Hattori. That's actually quite nice for
Huge.
Wilson here.
Yeah, this is really huge in winning round 1. I feel like Wilson almost drew like a perfect round 1 hand here, and it's really paying off. Like, Movius committing that big boosted guest res, that's a lot of carryover as well as points later, and not too bad for Wilson to see there.
Yeah, and looks like he kept the maxi, as we did see that he was going to be drawing into these nice, thick gold cards going into these round, and is going to find a couple more as well. It can take 2 mulligans to find, I believe, the next golden line.
Yep. Oh, it is looking very golden for Wilson here. Of course, he wants to take the long round. There isn't really anything to play. And Movius, unfortunately, no carryover to be gained from this Freixnet here on a dry pass.
No carryover for the Freixnet. Also, 2 not great bronzes in his hand right now. Gonna want to find a good bit of that top end golds here. And we do see the Ithne. Oh, finding them.
And Force Protector.
Top decks all 3 of them.
Very good draw.
4 of them.
Very good draws. Wow. That is what Movius kind of needs to see in this situation he's in. He's card down. Of course, first say is quite nice, being able to put that Ithne down early. We can see her immediately jump up, and all those leader charges were so fast. Look at this gameplay. It's so fast. Gee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Wilson just respecting these symbiosis engines and decides to remove one with that incinerating trap.
Yeah, I mean, there's not like a super significant other lines to take. I mean, you want to get that Ithne down to get all the value out of these spells, and you want to keep these dryads alive because the leader charges can quickly do 2 damage. So I mean, it's pretty obvious what you kind of want to go for there, and then
yeah, for sure. Another thing that is nice for Movius is he doesn't have to row stack anymore. He can kind of play around those crushing traps that Wilson has a little bit. No more guest rest. So you're not really missing out on value for trying to play for as little value on those crushing traps as possible. And I really like the fact that the tutor, Call of the Force, was like the only card left in Mobius's deck. Like, he drew everything, which is something that Devotionist doesn't always do, at least when I play it.
Yeah. That was really good. Yeah, obviously really good into round 2 there. Kind of, hopefully trying to make up a little bit for this, for losing round 1 uneven, and just trying to really outvalue. Because, I mean, Devotion scored puts down a whole bunch of points. So we'll see if the traps are going to be able to make it through it with this extra card.
Yeah, of course, Wilson does have a big play here with the Eldain coming down. He wants to put as many traps on board, and he can do exactly that with that Yorbet's Gambit as well, pulling out 2 traps, random of course, from Wilson's deck, and Serpent Trap, double crushing, as well as incinerating being those. I think Wilson is looking for that Serpent Trap in this matchup, and he has to do it soon as well because he wants it to hit something big before, so that Movius has special cards left to play before that Serpent Trap.
And we do see the Gambit coming down. It finds both of the bronzes here, missing out on the Serpent Trap, unfortunately. Crushing going to play for some decent value, of course, but
yeah.
And going onto that back row again, feeding the Crushing Trap a little bit more. That's a nice.
Yeah, and here we see Wilson's leader also making sure the most value is gained from really moving into this, moving Movius' units into the Crushing Trap.
Yeah, and we see Brienne now becoming highlighted for its adrenaline ability, just kind of destroying the rightmost unit when there's 3. So likely going to try and hit the gourd here with that last leader charge.
That is something that Movius can try to play around, but Wilson should keep one of these leader charges to be able to pull that off, and aiming for the gourd, just like Lance said.
And Yorvis Gambit still able to, I guess replay.
Crushing Trap potentially.
Yeah, you could replay Pitfall for 7 too, I suppose.
Yeah.
Piece of lumber.
Yeah.
Let's see what he goes for. That's a Pitfall.
I don't know. It looks like Wilson's gonna have this one. I mean, Eldane is coming down for a whole lot of points as well.
Exactly, and Movi is not playing around that Brehan either. Wilson doesn't need any setup for that. He can just take out this tall enough to kick your ours guy immediately, right?
It needs 3 units though. So actually, the Pitfall
no,
killing
it
off
has
the
a
extra.
memory.
Yeah, Pitfall killing off the
That
extra.
is true.
Units.
Wait, I forgot that. That part is true, but still. Is this gonna be enough with the Eldane one leader charge?
It should easily, yeah.
There we go.
I'm actually kind of impressed with the points of like the Cat Witchers and Gaten just played for so good into round 1 value that I don't know. Granted, I don't know. Movius didn't have a whole a perfect hand obviously for that round 1, but I'm still impressed by traps. I think that's their big issue, right? Is that they don't obviously have the strongest round 1 historically. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see it take the round pretty nicely. Again, Wilson had a really, really good hand for it.
Against Gift, exactly. That's the thing. You don't usually do that against Gift, but maybe Wilson, was he talented or has he figured something out? Maybe he has a meta breaker on our hands here and he's going to demonstrate it.
Yeah, I mean, having the Tiger and double Mentor, Mentor's just played for so much value. 20-point card that round. That was.
And finding the gates end. That gates end was so big with all the pieces, of course, set up for it. But yeah. Even if that Brehan missed out on its juicy target, it still was a win.
Yeah,
very easily. Just Eldane also just playing for so many points. It's huge.
Yeah, I mean, Yorvis Gambit has a little bit more insurance on that Eldane value, right? It makes sure that you have more traps played in that round to flip.
Yeah.
And we've made it again, and we get to see Mushrooms taking on Keltullus here.
That is going to be interesting. The Arnagod list that Wilson is playing with Pirates. Movius is playing Kelly, of course. More of a traditional deck that's been on and off every now and then. Let's see how it compares here. Finding Ceely in your opening hand is quite nice. You'd also like to protect that somehow. And we do see a Necromancy. So in general, I would say for a Keltullus deck, Movius has pretty decent draws here.
Yeah, and so, I mean, Hammond's going to be quite significant here potentially. But I guess we don't really have a way to get through the Defender, right? Defender's going to be a huge issue for Wilson. There's no Grimace for Purify.
Yeah.
So, your only answer being Hammond for Keltullus, if Movius holds on to that Defender, it's going to be quite annoying for Wilson here.
Absolutely. And Movius just going for the Surrey, boosting it up, kind of knowing that Wilson definitely doesn't really have a way of dealing with the Surrey either. What Wilson needs to do is just play for points and then potentially even bleeding out that Kelly if that Defender is something that doesn't come out before that.
So, I mean, there's some cheeky lines he could definitely take. I mean, Mardrome can deal, his leader ability can deal 3 damage, and Terror of the Seas being able just to play for order damage is really nice alongside this Hunter. So, if Movius just goes super tall, you can have Morkvarg come and hit Ceely, and then... Actually, he's able just to kill it right here, right?
He's able to kill it right now, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, the Terror of the Sea is actually being really nice with this Brockvar to be able to actually deal with this Ceely.
This might even force Movius here to just pull that Defender out, being a little bit scared now that he sees that, which is a relief for Wilson because Keltullus can now be dealt with.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously, loses on even and kind of just loses the round, but I mean,
I definitely feel like this game is a little bit more doomed if you cannot get through that Keltullus Defender. So in a way, it definitely, you still have a lot of points if you're Wilson, so if you can manage to stay in the game here, that would be really nice. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, we do have Hammond to answer Keltullus, but you're just going to have to assume that because Movius has kind of this free bleed, what Keltullus likes to do, obviously, is use that free bleed and card advantage to just go and bleed all the way in with having that Osro and leader charges for final say. So we'll see if, like, Wilson is going to be able to have enough points in a short round.
With that beast ticking, growing every turn as well, that's another engine coming on. Ighern, huge points, definitely difficult at this point for Wilson to be able to keep up with.
And we do.
And drawing into the heat wave.
Yeah, drawing into the heat wave. What's nice for Movius is he also has Nagelfar's Taskmaster, which is going to be significant to get through this Covenant of Steel. So you're not just forced to heat wave it. So we'll see what he's able to draw. However, though, I mean, there's still quite a bit of things he would like to find, obviously, alongside that Taskmaster. So.
Yep, that is definitely the case. Holger still coming down here to potentially contest the round, but Movius removes it quite efficiently with this Parasite in terms of better targets. I don't know if there is one for Parasite, so we've got a pretty nice kill there on the Holger.
Yeah, I'm trying to...
Still hitting this defender. The armor is gone. We're looking at some really fast gameplay here. It's difficult to keep up, but yeah, Turvey putting that rupture on the defender, potentially looking to go through it, and then answering that Ighern perhaps with the Terror of the Seas.
Yeah, and we see Movius is trying to keep this defender alive, knowing that Wilson has a whole bunch of value if he gets through this defender, right? Like Terror of the Seas and Brockvar, and potentially kill off this Ighern as well as Morkvar slapping this beast. So it's quite a bit of points that Wilson is able to do.
But here comes an answer to some of that damage with the natural selection. Not very committal, and a lot of things still ticking. It's looking good for Movius again. Winning on even is not bad, but Wilson's definitely keeping up with the points here, which is quite nice. For now, he definitely doesn't have that much to play though, so.
Yeah, and Morkvar being quite expensive, but I mean, if you're not going to get final say, Movius almost never gives you that Morkvarg on that Osril, so.
And instead, the Morkvarg takes out a 13-point target this round rather than later. Definitely, the point gap is so big at this point. Movius, with judging by his hand say, definitely cannot really keep up with this 20-point gap here.
Yeah, I mean, this Ice Troll is not doing a whole heck of a lot. I mean, having to spend so much, you just give up your card advantage just to potentially get through the round. But yeah, it just takes the pass. Wilson down 2 at the moment, but does get to not get bled into oblivion here. And then we still have some long round things that could be quite annoying, like Croc and Arnagod. Like Arnagod and Sucrose is like what he's playing for, right?
Yep.
So it's really good, I guess.
There they are.
Yeah, this Purify is going to be super significant for Movius here. He's going to want to obviously find the... Well, I mean, Keltullus gets moved, but if he only has a Nithril or a Keltullus, it's going to be kind of unfortunate not drawing both, because then Hammond is really, really strong.
And the question is, will this Keltullus actually be moved? Like we talked about a little bit when going through the decks, there is no pirate tutor really. So if you don't find that Hammond, that Keltullus is kind of sticking. So, unless it gets removed by something like Arnagod coming down early, which is probably what Wilson wants to try and aim for here.
Yeah, he's just taking the bleed regardless of the card advantage, because again, it's just making sure this Arnagod combo goes through, and if Movius doesn't have the cards in hand to answer it this round, then this Arnagod is gonna absolutely smurf with the Sucrose. So
yeah,
you're kind of saying, hey, the way I win is just to get through those, or just to have you not have an answer, and it's more likely when there's fewer cards in hand to have the answers.
Absolutely. And the defender not getting purified here, and Nehru not looking for that find, really kind of tells Wilson that he can go ahead with this combo. Of course, now Movius can probably make an assumption that that Arnagod is coming down as he sees Sucrose, so he might actually fish for that purifier to be able to heat wave the Arnagod.
Yeah, and that's kind of sad because there's obviously like, I mean, I guess it's Keltullus and Nithril, but you do lose out on that Neuromancy now for the next round. Should there be something you're interested in finding? But I mean, he drew most of them, so
yeah. The Neuromancy not coming down quite yet. Also, just playing his units out. So maybe Movius is saying, I don't need that Purify. I can just play nothing that Arnagod can damage. There is just the Ice Roll and the Squirrel, and then maybe going for a special. But Wilson definitely being able to put a lot of points on the board here with the Arnagod. It is big. Like, Movius has to get through that Defender if he wants to Heat Wave. That Arnagod for pretty solid 16 points here.
Yeah, and luckily Movius did tech in this Purify, which is going to be the most significant thing here. It allows him to get through this Defender and be able to...
yeah. Wrath answers this efficiently now that the Oshrill is out on the board. Not having to go for that Purify, but rather just choose the damage option for a little bit more points.
I like the Wrath because it's a lot more value, right? Like, it's just better because the Purify comes down and plays for 0 points. So the Wrath at least, gets to play for that 7 value there as well as getting through that Defender. So no, I like the Wrath a lot more.
Yeah. Now, Wilson is just going all in here, hoping that the Heat Wave doesn't exist. I like that plan because you kind of have to go, okay, I'm just hoping that my opponent didn't draw their cards, right? And that's kind of what Wilson is doing here. Like, once you commit, those cards kind of have to go for it, which is good for a Movius. Like, we see a really juicy Heat Wave. We even see the point gap not being that big. So if you can do something else than committing, then you'll do that.
Yeah, and spending the leader charge as opposed to the Heat Wave, getting a Squirrel to come down as well. So saving the Heat Wave even for that leader charge and going into this next round. What would be the Heat Wave target now?
There's not much for Skellige in general. What Wilson has is a bunch of 7s, Kroch maybe, being the most ideal one in this list. Wilson not really finding up. He did find an answer for Keltullus, which is nice, but in terms of points, they are difficult for Wilson to pick up at this point once Mobius's engines and Keltullus and Heatwave can remove any points here. It is looking a little bit bleak for Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of what was going to happen, though, right? Like, if the whole... again, both decks kind of have these going for these strategy. Like, you don't answer my cards, I win. You answer my cards, I lose, type of thing. So, although
it's definitely a pretty difficult matchup for Wilson's deck, I think, just considering Movius kind of has all the text, but then you have to go with that. Just like Lance said, maybe my opponent didn't draw the answers this time, and hope that goes well.
Yeah, I think it's difficult, obviously, if the opponent... But yeah, like, it could go either way for both of them, because I feel like both decks can have this very, like, when they're combo-oriented like that, like, you become heavily reliant on your draws, so, like, and especially, like, for Movius to be able to answer, he was heavily reliant on having these answers to the Defender, as well as having the Heat Waves, so a lot of, like, combo pieces that both decks needed to have to win. So we move into a 1-1 in the series, all tied up, and
let's see how the rest pulls out. The coins are obviously switched for this next one again, and it'll be interesting to see who can. It is very close right now. Let's see who can pull off some more wins. Will it be Wilson's? What did he have left? He got the Gorilla through, so there's this Arnagod, and I believe, was it Overwhelming Hunger that wasn't banned? No, that one was banned.
Yeah. Hunger was banned.
Syndicate it is.
Yeah. So I think Wilson's more concerned about this Skellige deck, kind of like how I expected early on, but
yeah.
So from the pirate decks that I've seen people kind of bring so far, this one's a bit nicer, right? Because it has like this all in on this like Arnagod Sukos strategy to where you can just cheese people so easily, whereas the other pirate decks felt like even if like you had the cards, you didn't have the points. So
Right.
Every lock holds the key to.
Okay, Movius queuing this Syndicate deck from blue, meaning that Wilson doesn't have stress too much about it, but he would still like to win the round, so we'll see. I don't know, your best bet is probably trying to defend the bleed, hoping maybe that the tunnel drill isn't going to come down to remove the important pieces that you need for Wilson's combo.
yeah, and so there's no like there's no Purify or like Heat Wave to instantly kind of deal with Wilson's defender, but you know, Line Pockets has a lot of things to either whittle it down, or you can see a Philippa potentially come down on defender if they had the coin. So he does have some answers to get through this defender, and then also needs to get through the Sucrose as well.
Yeah. What do you think about like Wilson's strategy of still trying to compete with this round rather than being like, okay, I'll play a couple of not that good cards and defend the bleed? I mean, we did see Holger come down as well as this Terror of the Seas, clearly indicating that he still wants to win the round.
I mean, he has Morkvarg in hand just for like this a lot of reach, so maybe just playing for that. Like, you obviously don't want to play out your Arnagod and Sucrose, but just kind of, you know, the rest of the hand is quite playable. Playing for the reach as well. You can even have something like a Turgbeat potentially too. Lambert's even playing for like okay value right now.
For sure. It is a little bit interesting though, because Wilson, like just like you said, he wants to keep that Arnagod and that Suhu, so he cannot play too deep in this round either. But as long as you have reach with Morkvarg, you can still play on, unless we see that Raider come down here.
Yeah, and I mean, so their hands are kind of similar in stuff they don't want to play out, right? Like Movius doesn't want to play Philippa or Cleaver, so I mean. You could also see Wilson do something later on, like with no Heat Wave. You could see him like go and just right away leader his defender when it comes down right away. It'd be super annoying too.
Yeah, that's definitely some lines that Wilson could pull here, though. Movius is 9 coins and a Sea Jack all. That looks like nice points right there, not too committal anymore. Also a coin giver, the eavesdrop there. It's gonna be tough for Wilson here. Deciding, I mean, there are so many tall units too. Morkvarg can only hit one, unfortunately, but definitely play for reach as long as you have it. That is probably what Wilson is thinking about right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, the point gap's getting quite big here, 23 points, so it does finally take the pass. So let's see how efficiently Movius draws to be able to, you know, potentially get a bleed in here to, you know, either separate this combo piece or, you know, just have Wilson have a bad hand, maybe straight 2-0. But we see Wilson drawing quite gold heavy as well as having this in Nero too. In terms of Movius, however, you know, it has the Cleaver and a bunch of crimes. I guess Cleaver's going to play for okay value, but we do see a Morkvarg as well.
All right, and Neuromancy is a pretty good pull here as well. Going for that Skewer Tooth. Playing for that Tribute, it is quite huge. Getting that Skullgate cannot deal with it. Otherwise, it's a great Morkvarg target. So you definitely want to spend those 3 coins there to make sure Wilson can't hit it.
Yeah, is there a better knight in the game?
Yeah, than Sir Skewer Tooth? No way.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Probably not.
I'm so happy that Sir Skewer Tooth is just the meta card now.
It is quite nice.
Now, if we could only get Sausage Maker into the meta, guys, let's do it. Next patch, Sausage Maker, getting the legendary buff.
If Sir Skewer Tooth disappears and is replaced by the Sausage Maker, we all know what happened to the poor piggy. Right. I really like answering a Cleaver with Morkvarg most times. That is what you want to do. Yeah, I mean, Cleaver is just too strong to kind of let it sit on the board. And yeah, there we go. Morkborg taking down the Mighty Cleaver. Hideaway coming down as well. Still a couple of pirates here in Wilson's hand, boosting for 2 points on the Morkborg.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting. He played it next to Croc, although there's the shielded unit on the board. Granted, that's going to be probably the only unit this round being played, so maybe...
Yeah.
And you kind of have to play it next to Croc, right? Because this is range lock, so it's like guaranteed you had to play it next. That's a bit sad.
It's a bit sad for sure. Losing that value, you just have to take the 50-50. Unfortunately, that wasn't in Wilson's favor this time.
Well, it's the lowest power enemy unit, so it was always hitting the cleaver, right? The muscle.
Yep. That's true.
So we see Movius getting the boat back out. However, I mean, so pinging the shield off now allows Wilson to get really nice Turg V value. And, I mean, he could end up being able to save this Arnagod combo.
Yep. That's for sure. But yeah, now the ship, as you said, Kruk works in mysterious ways. He actually damages the lowest unit. It's a card I haven't really seen being played that much, so there's a lot to learn, it seems. But yeah, hitting that ship isn't ideal when Movius is at 9 coins. That ship can just come right back.
Yeah, Wilson actually has a lot of points here with this Turg V coming down. Turg V playing for 11 also triggers this warship's ability, possibly playing for another 7. Like,
yep.
Power, the object of dark.
Hey, here comes the Philippa though for pretty nice yoink there on the craw. But also a nice Turg V target.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Loses out on the 2 initial points, but still the same value, basically, on the...
Yep. Definitely quite nice value. Now let's see. Is Movius good to say, all right, I mean, this is it. Do I play my last card, see what I get out here? Because if that's the case, then Wilson is forced to play one of his combo pieces that he really doesn't want to put on the board, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, so I think Wilson actually really wanted the Demon Pirate here, because like if Movius decides to, I mean, maybe it...
It would be nicer. We'll see what happens here. I mean, does he take the pass? Does he not? It's a little bit of mind games here.
I mean, maybe he's always gonna play into it regardless.
Yeah. Getting that ship out is a couple of points here, and especially getting out one of Wilson's combo pieces is quite nice. So doing that there. But yeah, if the Demon Pirate would have come down there, he wouldn't have been forced to play, and Wilson could have actually taken the pass if Movius would have taken the pass, but that did not happen.
Yeah, in terms of like value left, I mean, Gord got bottom decked, right?
I believe so.
Or by the no. Eavesdrop is in round 1. Gord just got, or was Eavesdrop in round? Okay, so Sucrose comes down with the leader charge for Wilson to maintain that extra card here. I'm not sure Arnagod's going to do a whole heck of a lot here.
No. It might actually be something you want to... I mean, maybe even keep it if it takes care of any unit. The nice thing about what Syndicate can do is play fairly unitless in a round 3. Especially effective against Skellige, but... yeah, I know Movius is definitely forced to play something here that Arnagod could potentially get value from. Like, I think Movius wants to find the Shock or the Gord here from the Nero. Like, missing out on both of those kind of doesn't feel good when you're a Syndicate. So Arnagod being able to potentially take care of one of those is quite big.
Yeah, I mean, this hand is a bit coin heavy for Movius here. Like,
yeah.
Oh no!
Shock.
Like this isn't great.
No, you have to get the Shock out, and you kind of have to. I mean, I guess you can't really wait unless you overprofit like crazy with the Jeek strat. It's definitely a tough call to make. You want to get that spender, but you really can't because it'll die to the Arnagod, or you'll just overprofit.
Because Jacques just dies to Arnagod. Like everything just dies to Arnagod. Like this hand was so unfortunate for Movius. Arnagod coming in hot here.
At least the ship is out. That's something, right? But this swindle, I'm playing for a solid 0 points.
Yeah, Well, it plays for 1, right? It plays for 1 because of the intimidate.
That is true. 1 point on C.
Oh boy, yeah, that was I don't know, a bit sad, right?
Movius is not happy about it.
Like
I think
he
He
really
is.
you really don't like having
Laughing about
nearly
it.
15 or
No.
15 coins unspent for your for your round 3.
No, you just want one of those cards in hand, like either Gorder or Shock, but and Lambert finisher. Bet Bane is very happy about that.
Yeah, I think Wilson is going for a little bit of the Bane value.
Pleasing the
here.
crowds. Yeah, it is important.
All right.
Gaining some fans.
We move into 2-1 in favor of Wilson. The memes actually doing the work. Like the pirate deck was the one I was most worried about him getting through, right? So now he has 2 chances with Igor Towns. It's Igor Townsfolk, right? Is his last deck.
Igor Townsfolk, something that Movius should be able to control with his syndicate list, I feel like. But of course, let's see, what coin is Wilson going on now? Blue coin, which is maybe the coin he wants to be on, even if he wants to win the round. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like seeing the memes get through is always a fun thing, right? Like you gotta.
Yeah.
So let's see. Will Igor Townsfolk be able to get through in 2 games? Yeah,
That's a great question. Syndicate versus Syndicate, just as suspected. Just because, Movius does have the pieces to control this, if he draws nicely, of course you don't want to miss out on your safecrackers in round 1. Hold up, I don't see a single one yet. Other than that, you should be quite good points-wise. And, Movius obviously does not want to miss out on that tunnel drill again. Let's see what these hands end up looking like.
Yeah, and so...
Mobius' hand is looking safecracker-less to me.
I mean, yeah, Justice is no actual crown
No, you don't
splitters
have a
on the
crown
board.
splitter. You can't.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That hand is not great.
Mobius. Oh no, Hoogers.
And
This is just so frustrating when we play Syndicate and that happens. It's like,
yeah. And we see quite the good round 1 hand for Wilson to be able to take this round. However, we see Furco Justice. He got the Nero into the safecracker. So, yeah, I mean, it'd be frightening.
A lot of crimes from Mobius again. Not that many Intimidate engines to actually be able to keep up with points. So yeah, Wilson's hand definitely looks like it is able to win round 1, and that is what Wilson is aiming for as well. Just winning round 1 with safecrackers, going long round with Igor Townsfolk, and
so
putting out the points.
I mean, if Movius goes Philippa here, it allows him to go Justice into the safecracker, and I mean, if he wants to take this round, that's what he kind of has to. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That comes down, and the Justice is able to come down now for a lot of points, definitely. Yeah. Still a lot of crimes in that hand, so safecrackers coming down from Mobius is gonna be pretty big.
Yeah, and it's quite the committal thing to obviously feel the need to do, right? Like Philip is such a significant card in these matches, so. But yeah, I mean.
No, I like it because if you go long round, Wilson kind of has time to set up engines, right? And Movius kind of needs to set up his own safecrackers later, probably in round 3 then. But he also wants to play removal pretty fast, so it's a nice thing getting this out in round 1 and definitely contesting the round. The points are there, but Wilson has the fist stick, threatening to take out a pretty tall unit here.
Yeah, we'll see what he's able to roll. I mean, so he either needs to roll a Triss into the fist tech, or he could also roll Walter Veritas into one of the poison bronzes too.
That is true. Let's see if RNGesus is on Wilson's side today. He says RNGesus take the wheel and goes for it. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean, we still have Movius has a good spender, obviously, can make efficient use, but these bloody good funds, however, and this assault is not doing too much. So And Triss rolling the fist tech as well.
Okay.
I didn't see what the other options were. It was quite fast. Okay.
It was very fast. We're playing fast today.
I actually looked on the street. It was eavesdrop, fist tech, and then assault. So.
Okay, and the odds of pulling fistic, I mean, Movius has a lot of specials as well, and none of them are fistic. So
yeah, they were
a high roll for sure.
Yeah, very nice Triss for Wilson, and I don't know, he can still play quite a bit deeper into this round too. He's got his crimes as well that play efficiently with his jackal. I gotta think that Wilson gets this round.
Yep, and look at that, yoinking a little bit of carryover potentially here. Ever getting to 9 coins again. Wilson gets 2 boats, and Movius gets none. That's a Philippa right there.
Yeah, playing the Philippa for carryover. Philippa again a bit expensive, but opponent committed their Philippa as well, so you're a little bit more okay to do it. And now this round,
yeah, you see like Triss, you see Siggy. The provisions are kind of there from both players, so.
Yeah, with the Siggy and Philippa are being committed by Movius. Yeah, I do kind of like this Philippa boat carryover.
Yeah, that's an obnoxious looking jackal. I love it.
Well,
it's just looking to get poisoned, but you know, obviously Movius can do that, and he knows. But I don't know. I just feel some type of way when I see a 23-point jackal. I'm like, no. I mean, it feels wrong.
23-point jackals and then like 15-point safecrackers. I mean, they're both quite annoying, to be honest. Like.
Fair enough. Nice Veritas card here. And Wilson tops it with a 26-point jackal. Even bigger. Oh boy.
Yeah, that Swindle roll. Does he play Gord as well? He doesn't play Gord as well. I was gonna say
no. Yeah, would have been nice for our invisible Gord. But definitely a nice roll from Veritas. Really playing into the syndicate deck. Or this type of a syndicate deck. Triss is a cheaper Triss.
Okay, so going pretty heavy to win round 1 on the even. Losing out on those coins is very expensive. Wilson does have the carryover on both boats as well, so gonna be interesting to see, you know, how worth it, because like bleed. Oh, okay. Well, top deck's really well for a bleed here. Piggy not really significant, but this Cleaver and this Jacques.
Absolutely. Like, considering what happened there in round, or like considering what deck you're up against, it definitely makes sense from Movius to go so hard on that and get that win on even.
Oh god, Wheel of Fortune. This will be an interesting one to see what this card rolls.
Let's see. Is it gonna come down, or is it a narrow time here from Wilson? Yeah, Wilson needs to kind of answer with his own Cleaver here, and leaving it as it is. That
yeah. I mean, tunnel.
Sure.
There's no coins for tunnel
No
right now. And he wants to get double boat out like really bad with this dip, and then doesn't have to spend carryover to do it. Yeah, it's fine.
Like, if Movius does spend this jock here and Wilson somehow makes it out of this round, Movius is kind of limited as to what he has for round 3, considering he hasn't drawn the Anero either. So, like, you really want that Gord. We'll see. All right. Movius also withholding the tribute from Jacques for the sole purpose of being able to drill. What if Wilson would take the tunnel drill here and do something about that pocket that Movius is going on for himself? What if Cleaver would die here?
I'm super psyched for this Wheel of Fortune. Let's go. Let's see the
wheel. Lucky's Wilson. Come on, he has to do it. No, he's hovering over the wrong card. Come on, Wilson, do it.
We'll see it. We'll see it. So he goes this route to get the coins here.
Fair enough. He wants to double boat out. I can respect that.
I mean, I think.
But yeah.
With no spender, okay. So he can't really roll anything here, right? Like it's just 5.
Nothing wins it. It's I mean, Wheel of Fortune on that cleaver would have been kind of Wilson's way of getting out of this round, or just like full on spend with that cleaver while it was on the board.
I would have rather like so nothing like hits. I wanted him to hit the cleaver just so we see how high the Wheel of Fortune rolled. Like it, so like it was between 5 and 10 what it just rolled.
Yeah.
But at least it shows us between like you know, if it kills the cleaver, then we see if it rolls between 7 and 10. I really wanted to see how skilled he was with that Wheel of Fortune, but
Me too.
I guess the world will never know.
And it was Wilson's way out of there. He had to have suspected that tunnel drill, right? Like with the Jacques, like what would you ever sacrifice the Jacques for? Well, obviously coins for tunnel drill because you'd rather get 3 points of damage. So
yeah. All right. Well, it's 2-2, so we're coming into the final series here again. Townsfolk trying to get through against Gift. Gift being on blue, which I like Movius's coins here going for this. Because then Gift gets the most potential to win this round one.
yeah.
But we'll see if Wilson gets a hand that's like Safecracker, a bunch of crimes, and justice, then which we do see. not a bunch of crimes yet, but like I mean that's a pretty strong hand.
That's right. Let's see here. Ooh. Is Townsfolk eager going to be the downfall of Wilson, or is it going to be his? I don't know.
I mean, I don't think he's alone in that downfall. I feel like Townsfolk can be a downfall for a lot of people.
You'd hate to see it. Oh well, yeah. I mean, so Cleaver obviously typically a card that you don't really want to play early on, but Wilson knows he's up against Gift, which definitely can win round one quite easily. So going for this commitment here is definitely not bad. Like committing Cleaver to win round one, sure. Haha, Movius emoting before he pulls that roll on there, and he actually gets the high roll. Now he's probably going for a circle to finish that off.
Yeah, very, very efficient way to kill out this Cleaver here. Wilson's got to feel a bit sad about that one, obviously.
That is a huge play right there, getting the 50-50. Like Wilson already committing so much with that Cleaver, and yeah.
But yeah, I mean, likely gonna go Furco into Justice Nest. The Half-Lake Safecracker's not like super big right now, but playing for good value for this round one. You still kind of have to go for it. Like you lose this round, you're gonna get hard bled.
All right, Movius getting to carry over, put some of that Frickstick carryover on an actual unit this game around. So I think he's quite happy about that. Hamadryde getting the buff, making it a little bit more difficult to remove for Wilson once it gets on the board.
Yeah, we see quite a bit of points now come down on Wilson's side as it swings him ahead of Movius here. And now Movius is really going to have to... I mean, I'm assuming he's going to... Never mind. I thought he would potentially start to go for like the Hamadryad just to get that down, to get the extra symbiosis value. But...
Yeah. I don't know. This is a tough spot for Wilson. Luckily, the point gap isn't too big yet, but it'll probably get quite big.
Yeah, so
from Movius's side.
Hamadryad comes down anyway.
Yeah.
We'll see how long Wilson waits on this poison. Might wait a little, because we do see the Caress available in Movius's hand. That can obviously purify a Fistic. I'm actually gonna be kind of curious what the Veritas and Triss rolls, because like he could purify the Fistic, but if like Veritas also rolls a poison,
I don't know what the odds on that pull is, but yeah, I mean you also have a Nero right for another Fistic potentially. So yeah, even if the Caress comes down, I think Wilson probably just says I might have enough ways of dealing with this. Maybe like either Triss or Veritas rolling another poison is quite all right, but here we see the Triss not hitting what Wilson wanted it to hit.
How can I help?
yeah,
Probably aiming for that Fistic.
still playing for some like obviously decent value. Getting the boat out now as well, quite nice too. So
And the poison play is definitely still an option to go for. Movies, again, drawing that Gestress for round 1, that can come down for a lot of points, definitely. But having to be careful, I mean, Philippa is enabled for that Gestress if it does come out.
Yep. Oh, there's the Purify being committed now, so like a poison, super threatening, and this Jackal allowed just to go tall as well.
Wilson has to go for that poison now.
Is he able to get ahead with the poison too and the Jackal clicks?
I don't know. Don't you? I would say you want to potentially keep coins just for Philippa, but well, you have 2 clicks and then.
Oh, is he thinking?
Know,
oh, he was gonna try and be a skilled friend.
It's only because he didn't show the Wheel of Fortune respect, I believe. His luck turned after that.
All right, so he decides to just hold the coins again, really threatening the Philippa Steele and this Gezrus.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, does
I do like that. Of course, you could Jackal and Fistek. Fistek giving you like what 5 coins here, so you could still play Jackal Pings and just a poison there. But maybe he wants to make sure that there is no like forest protector that could take care of this poison, anything like that. So just guaranteeing he might get it onto the Hamadryad. And wait for Movius to play some cards still might be the way to go.
Yeah, and a big thick Elias coming down from that council here, and you know Wilson still has a nice big poison here as well, so can still definitely threaten this round.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this is where he does it. And spending that, this is actually nice getting that 1 spender, not over profiting at all when playing that Fistek. I actually like that. Yeah, this is what Wilson is going to have to aim for now. That's a big Hamadryad.
Yeah, I mean...
Nice. Plus the coins. And the Jackal Pings. Ooh, that's a big point swing.
Yeah, it's quite threatening for Movius here. I can't see Wilson really losing this round.
Yeah.
There's no way for Movius to get a Purify for this at all. We do see Morin and Gezrus in hand, so, you know, Gezrus eventually just possibly going to get stealed too, potentially, so, yeah.
Stealed?
Stolen? Yoinked?
Yoinked.
I don't know. Pick your verb.
Yoinked. All right, here is the Fistek coming down. Look at that. Boom. Point swing. Woohoo.
All right, so now Wilson able to get that round control, so quite threatening. Let's see what he draws into yet. Has the Anero. He finds the Igor, gonna, you know, be able to draw into these townsfolk as well, so.
We'll see. There's a lot of cards you're gonna need. That's a townsfolk, but also Movius's hand. He's drawing super gold heavy again. How do people get so lucky playing Devotion ST? I don't understand.
You sound a little bit upset, my fellow.
I am. I tried that deck and I just drew it back. Maybe I'm just pinning it on that, but I felt like I always missed something that I needed, and it's not a great feeling.
Yeah, but unfortunately, like with this hand, look, he has to just play out Gord because it's so good. He more insignificant. Also, you kind of want to lock or be able to deal with Igor, right? Like coming down at 6 is a bit annoying.
Alrighty, what is Movius even missing anything here? I guess he wants to find Aethna, but he does have a call. He finds a Dunka, so that's like perfect. Maybe Shaping Nature is nice, but oh.
Oh, almost. Look at that, almost a brick call. That's kind of funny. All right, so Azar, super significant, but able to get it through a Neuromancy, and yeah, it's really nice for Wilson here. He has most of his combo pieces. Unfortunately, we do not get to see the Wheel of Fortune this game.
Maybe it's for the best.
No, it's not. It's never for the best.
So. No, it's for the best because Wilson already betrayed it once, so if he would play it again, I'm sure it would just give him something bad.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I guess it can't ever be like really bad, but
All right.
Mrs. R is nice, but ooh, these combo pieces are a lot of fun for Wilson to put on the board now. Oh, big points for Movius, like huge.
Yeah, I mean,
And of course, like, you know, for a deck like what Wilson is playing, you want to see a log round to kind of maximize that engine value, which, you know, short round Devotion ST definitely has the edge in that one.
I mean, so to play around the Philippa, do you just go, yeah, Circle of Life?
Yeah.
Or not. I guess he's just going for the value on Hamadred.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess Dunka.
They're going for Dunka to play around the Philippa.
Never mind. Like you guaranteed to get the bus on the Gezzers to play around Philippa.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about Dunka on the board there.
Yeah. Here comes Igor, ready to do some stuff in a bit.
I mean,
is he gonna do Igor stuff now?
I think he's trying to think about like if he's like having a full go for the game.
Right.
Okay, tax collector is more for him here.
No, that's a big boy guess riz. Just in case Movius is boosting it by 1. And making sure it is out of Philippa reach. Wilson removing cards there from the Rage row, hopefully also removing value from that Gesture again.
Yeah, I mean, so these Igor decks are super hard to suss out here, just in terms of like what the points are gonna end up being. I mean, these leader charges are playing for a whole lot.
Definitely. The tax collector is still going. And the more in that Movius did hold on to. Is it playing for a whole lot other than removing that little scarab there? But I think the gestures alone is really just huge.
Is he going Philippa now just to get extra value on this Dunka? But then he does not. Well, can he spend more coin? No.
I think
No,
the
just go
Philippa probably
shakedown.
coming down after that. And yeah, I mean, boat still there. Boat is something that Wilson probably wants to come down. So I mean, it's
I mean, you don't really.
I think Philippa. It's like if Philippa, you can't Philippa the Aethna at this point anymore. I mean, Warren, like you don't want to hit a scarab here,
Yeah.
otherwise you give space for the Philippa. So, oh, okay, Wilson's happy about that. Now he can take the Aethna. She's big. Okay, never mind. I like this. I'd rather go all in on the townsfolk. You still have a big yoink on the Warren, so why not go all in on the strategy that you wanted to go?
And it looks like Wilson able to make it through here. Holy man, that Igor Townsfolk
I don't
absolutely
know.
smurfing.
Look at that point gap. I was like, yeah, Gestus is totally gonna carry this round just by himself.
Well, I mean, he's
That's
only hit the back row twice.
coming.
Yeah, like holy.
Dude, I don't know. I love this, Wilson.
Wilson
Congratulations on that one.
piling his way through to the next round. Ah, well done, sir.
You love to see it.
My.